What's up, Em?
When you look at Lance and just kind of, obviously he was an involved player when he got here, but how have you seen him evolve within this clubhouse?
Yeah, it's. I didn't know Lance at all, so my assumptions, I guess, when we signed him, um, I don't know if I was right. And just kind of understanding who he was, and I thought he was more of a, hey, I'm kind of stubborn. I'm gonna do what I want to do. To watch him kind of grow, um, you know, t- the conversations he has with Julio, myself, just about pitching, about clubhouse, just about leadership, about what we want to do to win. Like, I've been thoroughly impressed. We've had many conversations, him and I. And to watch what he does on the field has been pretty spectacular. I mean, it's to watch him grow. I mean, he's a fastball pitcher that knows how to use three different fastballs now. The way he talks about pitching is a lot more involved than I maybe gave him credit for when we first signed him. I just thought he, especially after the first couple outings, it was all fastballs, and he was a little bit stubborn at first. And then once our guys kind of, once they had conversations to see what he's evolved into, it's been fun to watch. Obviously, and you get to watch it every 5 days, and just see him this year, basically dominate both all time, every time out.
And how, I mean, it does seem like a lot of people thought, oh, last season was a fluke. Can he repeat that? Do you think, I'm sure he would say he doesn't listen to those things, he doesn't hear those things, but do you think that maybe he does and did, and that serves as some motivation?
Oh, he does. There's no question. I mean, he definitely wants to prove people that it wasn't just a one-time thing. That he's definitely figured some things out that make him an elite pitcher. He believes that. And his work, everything he does, kind of obviously leads up to him performing on the field. And he truly believes that he wants to prove everybody, like, hey, I'm not just a fastball pitcher. I know how to pitch. I know how to use, all sides of the plate with all my pitches, and I am one of the elite pitchers. And that's what he goes out there every day to prove. You can see it in inter-squad games. You can see it now, obviously, when we're starting to play games. He's got a little chip on his shoulder to prove people wrong, for sure.
How big would a sweep be for this team, considering where it started this homestand?
Yeah, it'd be pretty big. I think, like I said, just winning one game was critical. We found a way to win two, and now we got one of our best pitchers on the mound, one of the best pitchers in baseball on the mound. So, we got a good opportunity to do it. It'd be huge for us, for sure, moving forward.
I'm good, John.
Okay, other questions, please? Raise your hands. Go to Evan.
Can you give me an example of the quality of teammate that you believe Lance has become in kind of an illustration?
Yeah, I got a ton of different examples of it, but just his communication with the players. When we had our summer camp, we have a bunch of younger guys, in our camp. He sat, we had a long, we started playing night games, 6 o'clock game, and we get done with one of the games, and he comes out of the dugout after the game. Like, I'm getting all my stuff together, and he's coming out, and he's just sitting down there talking with all our younger guys, Tyler Phillips and Taylor Hearn and all those guys, just kind of explaining to them like his growth and how he's kind of evolved as a pitcher in the big leagues, and his ups and downs and things he's had to go through. So, just doing that, and he understands the importance of it, because he understands that those guys, he wants to be here. So he wants to see those guys come up and help us win. What he does as far as leadership with all our group, with our main group, he sets the tone in so many ways, and just how we're going to compete, how we're going to prepare, the expectations that we have. Every time he goes out, he expects to dominate. He kind of demands that out of the rest of the guys, and there's so many examples of that he doesn't want the publicity about it. He kind of flies under the radar in a lot of these cases, but how hard he works, people don't understand. They assume that he doesn't work as hard. You look at he's not the perfect physique, but he goes out and he works his butt off. And when he has to get the ball, he can go. That's why he can go out there and go 110 pitches and still be throwing 96, 97. So there's so many examples of it. But he wants to win. He wants to build a champion.
different topic. Kevin Cash had a few things to say about video this week. I don't know if you saw any of those comments, but
I didn't.
he was really anti-MLB's stance on how video has been taken away in game, and thought that it was hurting players' ability to get better. I know everybody's in the same boat, but has it, given where you guys are and trying to get your players and to improve their approach, has this hampered your guys at all?
I think so. I mean, I think it's everybody. You know, I mean, I don't think it's league wide. So, you know, I think we're having to deal with it just like everybody else. I know a few of our players I've heard, you know, they're not making excuses as to why, you know, they're not having success, but it definitely hurts. You know, the immediate feedback or just feedback that you can get from video, you can't get, especially in game. You know, it makes it a little bit more difficult to make adjustments that you maybe could have made if you had the video. So, yeah, I mean, it definitely, I think it's affecting everybody league wide. But like I said, none of our players I've been aware of have made excuses about, you know, that being an excuse as to why they're not succeeding.
Thank you.
Next question, please. Let's go to TR.
Ms. Woodward, morning. Can you elaborate on what's going with Nick Giddy, please?
Yeah, we're going to find out this morning. I want to see how he kind of comes in and see if he's any better. I assume he's probably not going to be able to pitch today. He was pretty sore yesterday. He just got it's a really stiff back. We're trying to figure out exactly what it is so we can hopefully get it better because we need him. But I haven't seen exactly how he feels this morning, but we'll find out soon.
Are you guys preparing for a possible roster move today?
No, I don't think so. I think we're going to give it. Another 24 hours, probably after today, maybe before tomorrow. If he's not any better, we might consider something, but I don't think today.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Any other questions, Chris?
Hey, Woody, to piggyback off of what Evan was asking, when we talked to Todd Frazier, he didn't sound too concerned about the lack of video. He talked about how he was more of the old school mentality of just communicating with the rest of the players on what the pitcher's doing on the mound. How can that possibly help the younger players who do rely more on video for how they can prepare for their next at-bat?
Yeah, I think Todd is kind of an old soul, in baseball when it comes to that because he relies a little bit more on how he feels, which some of our other players do as well. I think it definitely helps to just hear that. And the thing is, even when we had video, they did communicate with each other. I think with video, they just confirmed some of the things that they're talking about. Now they have to kind of go with their eyes and what they're seeing out there and trust what their teammate is saying when it comes to, okay, how's this guy's ball moving? Where's he throwing it? What's it look like coming out of his hand? All those things. There's a lot of chatter, on the bench as far as, from at bat to at bat. I mean, guys are coming off and the guys are going on deck. They're communicating right there just because they want to know, because we don't have, obviously the ability to go back and look. So I think it's, we're adjusting just like everybody else, but I think Todd's influence on that will definitely help a lot of the younger players.
Just really quick housekeeping. Yesterday, after the update you gave on Dana Santana, you said I think you could have activated him today, possibly. Do you anticipate that happening, or do you think he's going to stay on the IL?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think we have to make sure he can play first base at least, at a minimum, I guess. That's what we're kind of looking at. He's close. I just don't think it's today. Like I said, maybe we make that move, but I don't think we will. He still hasn't thrown as much as we'd like to see. I know first base. It's the one time where he's playing first base and there's a play at home plate. He's going to be forced to make a play. It's really hard to ask him not to throw that ball, especially when it could potentially be an out to save a run. So we don't want to put him in that situation if he can't do it.
All right, thank you.
Other questions, Alex?
Woody, we talk about little string catalysts that can bring a club together. From the bullpen side, this bullpen has 7 scoreless innings for this series. Rafael Montero coincidentally in on Friday and then picked up both saves Friday and Saturday. Do you think that he provided not just spark for himself, but for the guys around him?
Yeah, no, I do. I think it gave us a big boost down there. Just his ability to execute and the stuff that he has. You can see that first day we were all kind of like, okay, we've seen it last year. Like, we know how good he is, but to see it the first time, with our own eyes, be like, okay, that's what it looks like. That's what we remember out of Rafi. So absolutely, it gave us a huge boost, and it moved everybody maybe down a slot. That gave us a little more length, a little more depth in the bullpen. And I think it just solidified a little bit of the bullpen. You can see everybody's, pitched well this series, and this is a pretty good lineup. So hopefully we continue that trend.
Thank you.
Hey, John Radigan.
Woody, one more on the video thing. We had a disagreement in the broadcast booth about it. Is this a result of the pandemic and MLB doesn't want everybody touching and using the same computer and the same video equipment? Or is this a result of the way the Astros were misusing video equipment?
I say more of the sign stealing, using the video. I definitely think that the pandemic is an issue as well. Not sharing no communal, video, like you're not allowed to share. I think they were going to allow that before, outside of the game. And now they're not even allowing that because they don't want anybody using. So it depends. I mean, during game was definitely the sign stealing. Outside of the game was probably more pandemic related because they just don't want anybody touching the same stuff. So a little bit of both, but I'd say more so to the sign stealing stuff.
Yeah, and one other just off-topic thing, just, going from the worst record in the American League to a half game out of the playoffs in 2 games really does sort of identify it. It focuses what this short season's all about, doesn't it? Just how quickly things can change.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we just cannot, take a day for granted. We just got to keep our foot on the gas the whole time and weather any storm that comes because, like you said, we were just talking, it's doomsday 2 days ago. Now we're like a half a game away from second place. So this year's crazy, and we know that. I don't think it's going to get any less crazy as we go. I think it's only going to get worse. But that's, we got a resilient club, and I think from a staff standpoint all the way down, to all of our players, we've set that tone from day one. Like, let's take anything in stride. Like, we just got to go head on with whatever we face. And obviously winning games is huge. If we can win today, we're a couple games out of 500, and hopefully we can gain some momentum, like I was saying before.
Take a couple more. We'll go to TR, then Evan. We'll bring Julio in.
Speaking of housekeeping, is Lance Lynn going to pitch Friday? Are you going to skip him? Or skip Lyles and go with Lynn on 5 days rest on Friday, or do you know?
I don't know just yet, but I assume Lance will be on 5 days. I don't think we're going to skip Lyles. I think we just might, move
Push
him.
back 2 days.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, I don't know for sure, but we might do that.
I think that's a question for tomorrow. Thank you, sir.
And Evan, last question.
Very complicated question for you here.
Uh-oh.
What's going on with Elvis Andrus?
Complicated question. I don't know. I'd like to see him obviously a little bit more productive. He would like to see himself more productive, in the batter's box. I don't know. I mean, it's hitting is hard. That's the only thing I could say. It's not easy. I know he's been working on some things. Sometimes when you're in the middle of trying to figure something out, it looks worse than it is. I'm hoping today is the day he just hits a couple rockets up the middle and we go from there. But he definitely needs to, we need more production from him because we need him. Like, he's a big part of our offense, and when he gets on base, like I said, he causes havoc. He creates pressure. So we need him to get on base more often.
He seemed like he's been a little bit in between on his swings, where it's been sometimes he's using the leg kick that he had used previously, and sometimes it's almost going back to that almost kind of defensive swing. Is there some confusion there in terms of his approach right now?
No, I mean, Elvis is a smart player, so he's always got something that he's trying to accomplish there. But you're right. I mean, I do see a lot of in between. Not quite sure if he wants to go full full swing, or he's trying to do the right thing by shortening his swing. Sometimes when when you shorten your swing, you're not productive at all, because you're just using your hands only, and you lose your sequencing and all the things that make you a good hitter. Your ability to check off a pitch and not chase pitches. So it actually sometimes makes you worse by trying to what you think is the right thing. So I'd like to see him just, get his ace swing off more. Get that ace swing off where he can, drive a baseball through the middle of the field. I'm not talking about hitting home runs. I'm just talking about hitting the ball hard. Put some pressure on the defense when he's swinging. But I know how hard hitting is. I was a hitter, so I know there's a lot of times when you're like in between and you're trying to do the right thing. Do I sell out? Do I not? So obviously we need him to be better, but I know how hard it is.
He did check before he made the call. So Emily, go ahead.
Woody, before this series started, you were not bashful about where you guys were and how pivotal this homestand was going to be. 3 days ago, I mean, granted they weren't all, perfect, but it's 3-0. And so now looking back on it, how happy are you that you decided to put the emphasis on this?
Yeah, I don't really shy away from expectations or what's right in front of us with our players. I think it's important that we, always keep reality in check. We had to play better, and we still got to play better. I'm not going to sit here and tell you we've, turned things around and we're 3-0 because we're just, we still walked too many guys today. Our bat quality was better. We're playing better baseball, giving ourselves a chance to win. We got some big hits with 2 strikes, a couple with 2 outs. That was good to see. We've been kind of missing those. That's what I was kind of saying earlier. We've been putting guys in scoring position. But today, it's a win's a win, man. We got 3 in a row. We just got to keep building off of it because, it's amazing to think 3 days ago, like I said, the world was ending and we were out, considering what we were going to do when we were, out of the playoff race. And now if the season ended today, we're probably in the playoffs. It's kind of insane to think that, but we just got to keep going. We got to keep improving, keep getting better. It was awesome to see some of our guys like Jimmy Herget, come through in a big spot. That's huge for his confidence. He pitched in the 8th inning against, a pretty good Angels, lineup. Got a couple big punch outs right there with the bases loaded. So there's a lot of good things moving forward, but we still got to play better baseball.
Definitely don't want to try to get you into trouble or anything, but did the strike zone seem frustrating to Lance?
I think, yeah, it was frustrating for me as well. Listen, I'm not going to, I know it's not easy back there. The only time I ever get upset is when I feel like it's not going both ways. That's the only time I ever, when I see it kind of called on them and not on us, or vice versa. That's typically when you see me kind of get really upset. That's kind of what I thought today. There was a few pitches that I thought Lance wasn't getting that, they were getting. But I know how hard it is back there, and our guys got to keep battling through it. I thought Lance did a good job of battling through it. The rest of our guys did a good job battling through it, and it's not always going to be perfect every day.
You capitalized on some mistakes, especially in the outfield, the 4-base error there for Nick Solak. When you look at him, I talked to him a little bit about this in the post game. Is that one of the advantages you guys have in the outfield? Is how that roof is going to affect the way fielders play ball? As you saw it with Trout, and then you saw it with Adele.
Yeah, it's funny. I told Walk, I don't know if it was like the 3rd or 4th inning. I think Rengifo caught a pop up, and I told Walk, I said, it's funny. We haven't seen any kind of issues with misplays in the outfield or balls missed or misread on the opposing team. And then sure enough, 2 balls, Adele and Trout, both those guys. I don't know Adele, but I know Trout typically makes that play. I'm still debating the 4-base error, but I've seen other ones called homers, so we're going to try to fight that one to get Nick a homer.
That's it for me.
Other questions? Evan Grant.
Woody, on Lance, have you seen him? He's been known to say a thing or two every once in a while, but have you seen him quite as impacted on the mound as he appeared to be today?
No, I think everybody has their breaking point, and obviously he came in, he knew this was a big game for us, potential to get us right back in the race, sweep the Angels, division team. His 100th win, from a personal standpoint. So, there's a lot. I felt like he was competing, and when he's making pitches, and he said the same thing. We had a conversation on the bench. It's he got frustrated because he felt like he wasn't getting the same call that they were getting, and he's not wrong on that. Like, we both agree with that. So Lance is a pretty passionate guy. He competes. When he does, when things he definitely holds things in. I think when he gets hit, he doesn't really come back and say too many things, but when he feels like it's out of his hands is when he gets frustrated.
Is there any particular home run calls like that you recall other than Jose Canseco?
No, that's the first one that comes to mind, I think, for everybody, and that was ruled a homer. So
right, and that's the only one, right?
No, there's been a few other ones. There's been a few. I don't think they were debatable, like error or hit, because they were running as they were trying to catch it. I do remember a couple of times guy flipped it, he caught it, and then kind of lost it and flipped it over the fence. I can't remember who that was, but he was running as he was trying to catch it, so there was no debate on whether it was a hit or an error. I still think Adele was kind of moving. It wasn't an easy play. It wasn't like routine, I guess. He's still moving back. He's got the the roof to deal with. I don't know.
Thank you.
Other questions for Woody? Chris?
So a big topic of discussion has been Odor struggling and Elvis struggling. They get back-to-back hits, back-to-back RBIs. You mentioned yesterday, especially with Odor, that maybe it just takes one hit, one just time hitting the ball hard forward. Do you think that might have been that one time? What are you seeing from Odor? He didn't have some other good, some of his other at-bats weren't too great, but what did you see from him today?
Yeah, I hope that's the case. I hope I'm right on that. Yeah, some of his other bats, he chased a couple pitches down. I felt like a couple of the pitches he didn't think were strikes, but even so, like when you get 2 strikes, we still got to battle, regardless of what the umpire calls. Yeah, I mean, he, like I've said before, he needs to be productive for us. He needs to be productive for himself to obviously keep playing, but also for us as a team. Like, he's too important. I've hit him in the middle of the lineup from day one, basically, and I have high expectations for him. So, if he continues to struggle, it's not only going to hurt our team, but it's going to hurt his chances. We're going to have to. I'm going to do whatever it takes to have to win a baseball game. So, I'm always going to be in his corner, but at the same time, he does need to do better. And same with Elvis. And I think they both understand that. They know the expectations are high. Probably more on the offensive side for Rugi, just because he's got a history of being a better offensive player. But Elvis as well, man. He's too important. He's a catalyst for our offense. When he's not hitting it, we suffer as a group.
Okay, we're gonna let Woody. One more, TR. Go ahead.
Chris, you guys did. The home run by Trout to start it all off. You guys did a very good job against their big guns in the middle of the order. How big was that for you?
Yeah, that was huge. I even said to walk at the end of the game, if we can get Trout out to end this series, after the first swing he took, I thought, oh boy, here we go again. But I thought our guys, from that point on, did a really good job of executing the game plan. I think that was probably the most important thing. With all our different pitchers, they all had specific game plans against him, and obviously the middle of the lineup as well with Rendon. I think we got him at a good time. I think Rendon, I haven't seen him kind of struggle the way he has. I expect the next time around to be what we're used to seeing. I'm pretty sure. Same with Ohtani. I thought we did a good job of executing certain pitches to kind of keep those guys in check was really important for us in winning the games.